How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creatives Podcast. I am one of two co-hosts, Tevin Brown, and unfortunately, we do not have Simone again today. Like I said, superstars stay busy, and it's the holiday season, so you know she's booked and busy as queens are. Today we have an absolutely incredible guest. He is a stuntman. He is an action actor. We have Anthony Pagliaro, Jr., correct?
Yes, Junior.
Do you
correct.
prefer to do the full title, or?
It depends. I like Anthony, of course. Tony was my biological father's name, and I don't like that name. Okay. But yeah, I go Junior. Pagliaro doesn't, vice versa.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We always have such short time, so I'm going to get right to it with the first question, which is always my favorite question. Sure. What was your origin story, and how did you get started in the arts? Did you start with stunts first, move over to acting?
So, believe it or not, I never even thought about being an actor or getting into stunts.
Really?
Growing up, I didn't have the best childhood. I was always tossed back and forth between my mom and my biological father. My biological father, the only thing I can say that he did right was he got me into the medical field and to martial arts. I started little. I'm originally from New York.
Oh,
so
what part?
as you know, I'm upstate New York, Syracuse.
Syracuse? I'm from Middletown.
Oh, okay. You know all about it. I was originally from Kingston. We moved to Syracuse. So, of course, you have to learn how to defend yourself because people in New York, we don't talk. We fight.
No, yeah.
We're not like other states. So I got into martial arts. I played baseball growing up because, you know, New York's big in baseball. I actually turned down 2 baseball scholarships to go into the service.
Okay.
Thank
you for your service.
You're welcome. I did 12 years in the Air Force. While I was in the Air Force, I went to a gym, and the gym there, they did MMA. So the coach noticed me having a little more talent than a lot of the other people that would come in and train. He's all, "Hey, do you ever think about fighting?" And I'm like, I don't want to get punched or kicked or thrown, or, you know, I watch it, but I'll just train. You know, it's more of a self-defense thing. He goes, "Just think about it." So it went on for like a couple months, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to cuss on thing, but I was like, I'm just going to do it. Come on. Yeah. He's all right, go get your gear on, and, you know, I'll send somebody in, and you'll go spar. I was like, okay. I didn't think anything. I thought there was going to be a teammate. We're just going to spar. We're going to hit each other for a little bit. I'm sitting there, I'm getting amped up and getting wired up, and all of a sudden I see my coach come walking up into him like, "Coach, I thought you said it was going to be somebody else." He's all, "Yeah, I am somebody else." I'm like, "Great." So we went 1 round, and he beat me up pretty good. He didn't knock me out. He was hitting me, you know, put up your arm. You know, he'd kick me. "Hey, block that." It would hurt, but he was doing it to teach me a lesson. Yeah. And he got on top of me, held me, and he kept hitting me and slapping me, and, you know, like Gracie would do, he'd slap you. He got off of me, the round ended, and I don't like to admit to this, but after that happened, I just broke down. I cried, I was shaking, it was just an adrenaline dump. Yeah. And after that, I fell in love with it. I did amateur fighting for a little over 3 years, and then I went pro. I was an 8-3 as a pro. Nice. And one of the fights, as you know, a lot of people come watch the fights. Well, I was the co-main event. This was back in Utah where I was stationed. And there were stunt people in the audience watching the fights. Well, my fight was only 10 seconds. I knocked them out in 10 seconds. So they were coming back to talk to all the fighters and ask them about hey, you want to be in a film? You want to do this? You want to do that? And they came back and they were talking to me, and I'm like, where's the fun in that? You're not getting hit. You're not getting punched. You know, you're acting like it. Because that's why I was really into it, and I wanted to fight, and I loved it. Finished my term in the service, got out, and came back down to Mexico where my mom is. And I was like, you know what? I miss training. I miss fighting. I want to go back to a gym. Well, I went back to a gym, and there was actually stunt people there. And I was watching them, and I'm like, that kind of looks fun. So I got involved with that, and ever since then, it's skyrocketed since then. I don't look back. I love it.
Nice. I love that journey. That's absolutely incredible. So how long have you been doing stunts now?
If you don't count fighting, I've probably been doing it a little over about 3 to 4 years now.
Nice.
I was originally doing acting. I started as a stand-in background work, and I've just climbed my way since then.
Nice. Do you have any favorite stunts that you like to do now, like whenever they call for like certain things?
My favorite, of course, is fight scenes. I love doing fight scenes. I love getting thrown on tables or getting broken over a table or you know things like that, getting kicked, punched. I just love it.
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh my goodness. So with that, I guess, because there's like so many different pieces that we can touch on. 8-3 is an incredible record, by the way. I think I would be like 0-15 if I stepped into a ring.
It's not as easy as people think it is.
So with that, so started in New York, joined the service, moved around a lot. Utah is kind of where everything picked up with the fighting.
Yes.
Moved back here, joined stunts. Do you have any favorite projects that you've worked on so far?
Worked on, believe it or not, I would have to say Squealer.
Okay.
That was a horror film that I did with Ronnie Belvins. He was on The Conjuring.
Nice.
He taught me a lot. I was originally his stand-in, but the director and the assistant director knew me, so they knew I had other attributes. Well, there came a part in the movie where they were actually in a hospital, and I was a registered nurse for a long time. So they're like, hey, they hired me as a consultant. They're like, hey, we're building an ER room. What's going to be in the ER room? Well, I'm like, well, there's not going to be an eye chart. There's not going to be a mirror. You know, I'm telling them it's an ER room. It's not going to be in there. So after that, they were doing the scene. Well, the one actress that they gave the nurse part to, I know you're not supposed to talk about other nurses and other actresses, but she didn't know one lick of medical term or how to say it. So the director was all, cut, Anthony, come here. I was like, oh crap, what'd I do? You know, I was freaking out because I thought he was going to yell at me.
Yeah.
He's like, Anthony, you got your scrubs on you? Do you got your uniform on? I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, go throw it on and run back. And I'm like, okay. I thought I was just going to be, you know, a background or something like that, just to be in the background. He goes, I came back in, he's like, hey, I want you to say this and I want you to do this. And I'm like, you want me to what? Because it was my first speaking line in a movie. And he goes, yeah, I want you to say this and do this. And I was like, oh, the doing part, I can do that normally. That's, you know, that's a job thing. But you want me to talk? Like it was psyching me out in my head. And it was only 3 lines that I had to say. And it was all, yes, doctor, I'll do it now. That was the only lines I had to say. They gave me more after that, but that first, like those first lines, it was getting me all jumbled. And then during that part, I had to put an IV in, which I already knew how to do. And as I'm doing it, the only thing they didn't tell me is there was going to be blood squirting at me. So as I'm getting ready to do the IV, it goes all over my face, and I'm covered in blood, and I'm all trying to cover it up. And it just, I loved it ever since, because I've stayed in contact with the director, Andy Armstrong, who a lot of him know him from Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
He was a big stunt guy, and he's now directing his own movies. And I've gotten in touch with him, and he's helped me a lot.
That's so incredible. Was it a tough transition, kind of going from like actual MMA where you're like hitting people and like doing fights, to the stunts where it's a lot more coordinated, where you got to make sure you're not kind of hurting each other? And
it is. I've been to a lot of stunt schools where it's hard because I know how to punch. I know how to kick, and I've been taught that, and I'll break your jaw, or I'll break your nose, or kick you in a certain way to break your leg, where I have to slow it down, or I have to make it wider to throw a punch, or wider to throw a kick. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. That's not how somebody would throw a kick in a fight, or throw a punch in a fight. But it's for the camera, for them to actually see you doing it and things like that. So it was definitely a weird transition.
Yeah. No, that's so incredible. Moving to another piece, with the medical background, was that primarily focused on while you were in service? Was that for?
That was growing up. My biological father was a paramedic and volunteer fireman in New York.
Okay.
So I followed him in that aspect, because that's where I was 24/7. If I wasn't at school, I was with him at the station, or I was with him at the office. So it was it was like having 2 homes. So I eventually was like, you know what? I was trying to get his approval. I wasn't really doing it for me. You know what? do they have the Explorer program, or do they have this program or that program? So I started getting into it, and I actually liked it a lot. When I went to join the service, I was asking them if they had a medic, or if there was anything medical or that, and I didn't have it at the time, and I went security forces, because that was the only opening they had at the time, and I wanted to join the service.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely an experience.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So I know, as with most film people, there's so many things that we can't discuss. So I've got to coordinate my questions accordingly. With it, I guess a good question is, and you don't have to say if you've kind of already landed in or anything, you can imply as though you haven't. Is there any kind of dream role type scenarios that you would love to perform on screen that you haven't yet?
Believe it or not, I would love to become an actor and do my own stunts. As everybody knows, like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, the famous ones. But my solemn, I would have to say there's two people that I've always looked up to. One of them who's no longer here, Bruce Lee, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're two of my favorite actor stuntmen where they did their own stunts, and it's just, I want to do something like them. I want to have a role just like them.
Nice. Heck yeah. Both of those are so good. I need to go back and watch. I forget which one it was that I had watched of Bruce Lee. It wasn't the one that everyone, I feel like,
Enter
always
the Dragon,
talks about.
the common one.
Yeah, it wasn't Enter the Dragon. It was like one of his first ones, I think, because there was like a binge where my brother had me watch, and I think it was
Dragon Fist or Enter the Dragon.
It might have been Dragon Fist. It might have been that one, but I need to go back and rewatch that for old time's sake, as well as a lot of. I just love action movies. Are there any, I guess, because I always think back to a scenario with one of the first productions I had worked on. It was Universal production MacGruber, the TV show.
I remember that when it was
movie.
filmed here.
And so that was like my first production. I was a PA, and there was one night where someone had invited me out to drinks with like a group, and it was like the first night I had ever been invited out with anybody, and it was like union crew people. So I was like, oh my God, this is my in. And I sat down, and I ended up sitting down next to, and there's a spot where I'm going with this. I promise it's not a long tangent. But I ended up sitting down next to this one guy, and we sparked a conversation. So I asked him what he did and all this stuff. And he was like, oh, I focus on special effects. And so I had asked him like, oh, is there any stuff that you really like enjoyed working on? He was like, well, you know, like my favorite project that I ever got to work on, like I was pretty high up in the special effects department for Get Out. And so like we had started talking about that, and I asked him a question of like, what's one piece of advice as I'm getting into this to like keep in mind? And he was like, now that you've looked behind the curtain, you'll never be able to look at film the same. And you'll always be kind of analyzing everything, especially with whatever department you get into. So with that, and it's absolutely true, any film person can absolutely attest to it, and my family can attest to it because they can't watch movies with me anymore because I'll be like, that's a tube light. Yep. I don't like that costume. That's a bad wig. With that, are there, because there's like few and far between movies where I am able to sit there and be like, oh my goodness, and just enjoy it and not analyze it. Have there been any movies recently, especially in the action form, that you've been able to sit down and watch and be like, wow, like this is incredible?
Recently, to be honest, I would have to say no.
Okay.
But if I wanted to watch an action movie or an adventure movie where I could actually just sit there and enjoy watching it, would be any Jackie Chan. Yeah. I love his movies. He's so, and I love him to death. His personality, his movies, the way he acts. It's not like he's acting. It's just like he's doing another job or doing doing his career. And then, not taking anything away from Jackie Chan. I love you to death, but I love his outtakes. At the end of the movies where he does his outtakes and I just love it.
They're always so good. I had a DVD box set, and it had Rumble in the Bronx. It had another one where it was like similar, where he came to New York, and he was like trying to find a little girl. Not Rush Hour. I know someone's gonna say Rush Hour. It's not. It was older than that because he was like still speaking, I believe Mandarin. I'm not sure specifically what language he was speaking in that movie, but it was like definitely one of his older, and like when he was really young. What's your top 5 action movies that are kind of like you love going back to?
Action movies. Bloodsport, number 1. Enter the Dragon, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Action movies. I've watched so many. Do TV series count?
I'll count it.
Okay. I love Supernatural.
I love that show so much.
I've worked with all of the cast except for Misha. Jensen, I did Big Sky with.
Oh, nice.
And then Mark, who played Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared, I was on Walker Independence. I was with them.
Sick.
There's a story with that one too. I think I would have to say those were my top 3.
Okay, that's perfect.
Like, I don't know my top 5. I'd have to say those are my top 3 definitely though.
Perfect. You had kind of like slipped in there that there was a story with that one
With
little
Mark,
snippet.
yes.
Yeah.
So on Walker Independence, I was sitting at my trailer, and at the time I was smoking, and I'm sitting there just relaxing, chilling in between sets, and I heard this voice, and it was coming as, hey, do you got a lighter? And I'm like, I know that voice. And it's like one of those you want to look, but you don't want to look.
Yep.
And I turned around, and I was doing it slow, and he's all, and it was Mark Shepard. He's all, hey, do you have a lighter? And I'm like, yeah, hold on. And it was like a starstruck moment, like he was standing right in front of me, and I was talking to him. But he's the most lovable, awesomest guy. I had 2 cigars with him. We were just chit-chatting, hanging out,
awesome.
and it was a blast. And that's how I met Jared, because he came on the set one time when I was hanging out with Mark. And of course, Jared's going to come over and talk to Mark.
Yeah.
And we just all sat there just having a conversation. And it was weird. It was definitely weird.
Yeah, I had been starstruck. I don't even know if I'd have been able to respond. Oh, Supernatural is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're like reuniting for the boys coming up and everything.
Yep.
Moving into another piece. Goodness. Audience, I'm not brain stuck this time. I know it's like getting to that piece where it's like, Tevin's stuck on a word. Now he's going to be pausing for 10 seconds. No. So we've touched on the MMA. We've touched on the medical background. We've kind of like dipped into the stunts, and I'm jealous of some of the people you've met. It's like, I'm like, yeah, I've met a few people, but it's like, if I could have met.
There's one thing I never, I always get asked this in almost any interview I get into.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing being in film or being in the industry that you can do that you never thought you would ever be able to do? And that's honestly calling anybody up that are A-listers, B-listers, but like, hey, you want to go grab a beer? You want to hang out? Can you help me with this audition? And they're just normal people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, I'm not going to lie, there are some actors and actresses that are stuck up. And I've worked with those. But most of them that I still stay in contact with that I never thought I'd be like, hey.
Yeah.
They're just normal people. We hang out, we talk, we chit-chat. And, I've gotten invited over to their houses, and it's something I never thought would ever happen. I've been in the service. I was in the medical field. I fought. My saying that I've come up with over the years, and it gets jumbled, people say it different ways, but live life to the fullest and don't let life live you. And you can never do enough, you can never learn enough. When you think you're learned enough, you shouldn't be doing it. And the same goes, with fighting. When you're not scared fighting, that's when you need to stop.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a beautiful saying. Goodness.
He stumbled, folks.
I am stumbled. This time I am stumbled. I won't lie. Because I feel like this is always the point where I'm always like, what's up next? But I know with film, it's always like,
There's one movie that we just finished that I cannot talk about yet.
Okay.
I do have another one starting November 3rd, which we're going to be filming, can't say the location, but it's here in New Mexico.
Nice.
And then it'll be a week in one spot, and then 2 weeks in another, where it's going to be a traveling movie. So it'll be here and then another 2 hours away for a different scene of it. So it's going to be long nights and long days again.
Yeah. Ooh, that gets me into my next question of, we've talked about some really positive moments.
Mm-hmm.
In your journey so far, have there ever been moments where you've kind of had to be on set and be like, no, I can't do this or that, due to safety or any reason really?
Actually, yes. There is this one, we had rehearsals, and after rehearsals, I actually turned down the role. There's people here that know about the movie and what happened with it. They're over there. It was Lone Wolf. We went to rehearsals. It was supposed to be a stunt rehearsal to find out what we're doing, how we're doing it. The stunt coordinator there didn't know what he was doing. He was constantly asking us, the stunt people and the actors there, hey, how would you do this? How would you land this? How would you throw this? And we're looking at him like, you're supposed to be telling us what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one thing getting advice, like he would give us something and then say, well, do it this way or do it that way.
Yeah.
But the whole time he was asking us, okay, how would you do this? I'm going to set it up. How would you do it? Or what do you think we should do? And all of us the whole time, I mean, we went along with it because not gonna lie, we wanted to get paid. But after that, all of us, after everybody left, we walked off the studios and we sat and we were like, no, there's no way we're doing this.
Yeah.
Especially with someone that doesn't know themselves and how to do it or what they're doing. We don't want to be around that. That's a big safety issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have to say that's one of the ones that I've turned down that I regret turning down, but I'm not going to get hurt just to do one scene. No.
Yeah. No, I love that. No, good. What are some of your favorite pieces about, because it seems like you've traveled a lot already for like so much different work. What do you feel like makes New Mexico sets special to you?
Honestly, the environment. I'm an outdoor person. I'm hardly ever home. If I'm home, I'm either eating or sleeping. I like to be outside. I like to go for hikes. I like to go for walks. I have a little husky now. She's not so little anymore. She's 8 months now, but she's got snowball of energy. So we go out for runs. We go out for a hike. We'll go travel. You know, she slowly getting her into the car. She freaks out a little bit, so I'm just trying to go down the street a couple blocks, and then when I see her freaking out, I'll turn around, and then we'll go a little bit further. Nice. But I would have to say New Mexico has a great environment, especially for Westerns, anything outdoors. I think it's awesome. I was stationed in Utah, and that's another big place. It's similar to here. It's just the outdoors is awesome.
Yeah. No, I love that. So we're starting to slowly round out the show. I know we're starting to run out of time a little bit. And you had kind of already given, because it's always my favorite question to ask, of like the one piece of advice you would give to anybody. You kind of already gave it with that beautiful statement, or the beautiful
phrase.
What's the word? Phrase. I'm bad with words today, y'all. I won't lie. But that beautiful phrase. So I guess moving into the next piece, where can people follow you, see the stuff you're working on? Is there anything that just came out that people can go see?
Him. The movie Him just came out.
Nice.
That one you can go out and see it. It's still in theaters. I think you can actually rent it or buy it on Amazon right now. And I think there's one other couple places that's going to be coming out soon.
Nice.
Other than that, my Instagram, which is up there as you can see.
Beautiful.
Facebook is Stuntman Pagliaro Jr. I have a Linktree account. I didn't put that up there because that's way too long to type all of that. Just anywhere. Fergo Mayer Talent Agency here in New Mexico. I'm also with the Parameter Group in LA. Contact them. I'm ready and willing.
Awesome. Do you have any final words before we close out?
First and foremost, I would have to say that everybody says it. I wouldn't be here or doing what I do if it wasn't for him upstairs. The one person that I still get teared up about when I talk about him is my grandfather, my poppy. He taught me a lot. He was my dad. He was my best friend. It's been over 10 years, and it's still hard every time. When people pass away, they say it's easy as it goes on, but it's not. especially when he was somebody that close. But I would like to thank him because he taught me a lot, and if it wasn't for him also, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Creatives Podcast. Once again, my name is Tevin Brown. I would like to thank our amazing sponsors and our amazing producers. I would love to thank Studio 519 for allowing us to film here. Thank you to Catharsis Media, which you can catch us on there on channel 96. And you can catch us on Studio 519, channel 27. You can also catch us with RM Entertainment, RME Free TV on Apple TV and Apple devices. YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd like to once again thank Anthony for being on the show with us today.
You're very welcome.
And please have a great and safe night.